Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the Divisional Round Playoffs on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you as always. EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to chilly, but of course sold-out Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Straight ahead, we punch the second of 2 tickets to the AFC title game, and we've got a great one in store between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our 2 quarterbacks, certainly 2 of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Always fun to see Patrick Mahomes, and we'll get a look at him here as he brings out the Chiefs offense. Likely, though, not going to be a second straight MVP season for Patrick Mahomes. Not anywhere near the 50 touchdowns that he threw a season ago, but maybe a more mature Patrick Mahomes this year? What do you say?
I would agree with that. And remember when we started this season, we kind of joked a little bit, a little tongue-in-cheek, that if he doesn't throw 50 touchdowns, everybody's going to talk about what a bad year Patrick Mahomes had. Don't forget, missed some time with a knee injury. Yeah. Kansas City's defense had its struggles. But bottom line is, they went to New England not long ago and won. They didn't do that last year. Lost in New England twice, right? I mean, lost New England once in the regular season, then at home in the playoffs in the AFC Championship game in 2018. So to see that maturation where he can find a way to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, I would agree that he's a better quarterback this year, even if the numbers don't support it.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Sammy Watkins, 61 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Well, this has been a quick strike offense all season long, finding many different ways to manufacture big plays.
They had a big playoff preview today in the papers, and it was about who would set the tone. Well, they just set the tone right there. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here come the Texans now for their first drive. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural Deshaun Watson.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Here's Johnson. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
And what a tough environment to roll into. On the road, playing one of the better teams in the league, obviously, because this is the playoffs. So what do teams talk about? Bringing their own momentum, bringing their own energy on the road, because you know you won't get any from the home crowd.
On second down now, it's Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now on third down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. From the gun, here's Watson. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
On fourth down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. This is taken at the 15. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Out comes Kansas City's offense. And Charles, a 4th straight AFC West title for the Chiefs, but still no Super Bowl appearance in 50 seasons. Could this year be different?
I think it could, and I was skeptical about it mid-season. But the reason I say yes, defensive line playing much better. I'll give you two names. Derek Nottie, defensive tackle. Chris Jones, defensive tackle, defensive end. They're stuffing the run game better. They're pushing the pocket against the passers. That's helped out the back end. And, of course, any team that has Patrick Mahomes at quarterback is always a threat. This is a good year for Kansas City to make that run.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Oh, here we go.
Williams. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Someone's looking fresh, and his O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
He'll take a shot for the end zone, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. And now the Chiefs' offensive starters.
Yeah, I feel a little bad here because we missed out talking about these guys on the opening drive because they were in the end zone before we had a chance to even say anything. But let's keep an eye on these wideouts. QB already has 1 touchdown pass. You know he's looking for a few more before this one's over. Those wideouts will get plenty of opportunities to try and score again.
And this is caught by Watkins. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 30.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Jaleel Adai's versatility is a big plus for him. He can match up against the tall receivers. He can match up against the short, quick receivers. He can cover inside. He can cover outside. And as an added bonus, he tackles well, too.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
You got nothing.
Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack.
But enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And an alley to run. Able to find a seam for 14 yards, but still now facing a 4th down after the scramble.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. Butker's kick here is good, and that will make it 10-0 here in the first. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. Wiggles free. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Charles, as the Texans get the ball back here, I want to discuss their season. It's been kind of some good, some really good, and then some bad and questionable. But under Bill O'Brien, he's in his 6th year. They've had 9 or more wins 5 times now because they've reached that plateau this year. Is this team one, though, that can make a run in the playoffs, or is it just going to be another exit in the playoffs?
Well, the problem that they run into is oftentimes they win their division, but they're the 4th division winner, which means what?
They got to
wild
go
card.
Yeah.
So they tend to host a wild card game, play in that. Most of the time they get beat, right? They did have that big win against Oakland a couple of years ago, but that was the year Derek Carr broke his leg, couldn't play. Then the backup gets hurt and ended up starting Connor Cook, a rookie, his first snaps in the NFL. So that was almost a layup. They've got to find a way to get out of that wild card game, and I'm not sure this is the year if they find a way to win the AFC South. I think they'll still be in the wild card game in 2019.
Yeah, because Bill O'Brien's only taken them to the divisional round once, and they lost that game. On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes LaShawn McCoy as he trots back out there now. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Now here's Mahomes. But he checks this one down to Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs 1st down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes.
And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Damian Williams, 57 yards. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And in the end, it was all capped off by the Damian Williams touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Come on now, let's go.
And now out comes Houston. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Well, let's get back to the playoff picture. We talked about the AFC. Let's look at the NFC. Still, that race starting to come into focus. We know most of the teams, Seahawks, 49ers, Saints, and Packers all in. Vikings in good shape. How do you handicap this race? It seems like anyone can beat anyone.
I think you're spot on because if you were going into the playoffs with these teams that we're going to talk about, who would you make the absolute favorite? It could be anyone, right? It could be Seattle. It could be San Francisco. It could be New Orleans. I know Minnesota's probably going to come in as a wild card. Green Bay will come in as a division champ, it looks like. But bottom line is, Dallas or Philadelphia's got to win the NFC East. And I don't know that anyone wants to go to their home field and play when they have to play in a divisional game. So when you get it all together, and maybe that would be a wild card, I would guess, because they'd be the 4th team in. But when you put it all together, it is absolutely wide open about who wins the NFC and represents for the Lombardi Trophy.
All that, and it only nets them a yard. It's second down.
Let's go, D. Big series. Let him go. Step it up. Let him go.
Off of play action, it's Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now third down.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
Has a pretty good throw on the curl route there. Third down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And he'll find Akins there, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Frank Clark, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Watson, he's got his tight end. It's Fells. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 16.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
The Texans with the first opportunity now from the red zone. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. He's got Fuller. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Check. Watch 54.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson with a catch made by Johnson. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Again, it's Watson. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Off the edge, the sack by Reggie Ragland.
And on 2nd and goal, they decide to throw it again, and this result is even worse. They take a sack. On 1st down, it was simply an incomplete pass. Not a good first 2 plays, beginning with 1st and goal.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? His pass caught at the 4. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. From 8 yards out as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So that drive spans 13 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Doesn't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter. So it's on to halftime of this AFC Divisional Round matchup as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. This fourth and final matchup on this Divisional Round weekend. We'll get back to you guys in just a moment. But first, let's take a look back to Saturday's AFC Divisional Round game. And it's the Tennessee Titans who are moving on to the next round as they were able to knock out the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, in our game, we've got one half remaining to find out who goes on to the AFC title game. And to bring it all to you, let's send it back out to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC Divisional Round. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Chris Jones able to drop him for a loss of a couple. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12.
Hey.
On the ground, this is Johnson. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he finds Stills, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage. Sets
him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. It's complete to Fuller. And he's got this down to the 35. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 35.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completions.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 35-yard line. Watson looks to throw again. Johnson's got it complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Open man, the tight end fouls. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold them to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Carlos Hyde in the game. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half, you're down here. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. From a yard out, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. A 10-play drive that time, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Not that time for Watkins. So, my goodness, I wouldn't have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, No errors, right? Not turning it over and just doing all the right.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Frank Clark able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Watson now to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Akins, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans have taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. Oh, this is blocked. Picked up by the offense. This is a live ball. So after the block PAT, they're ready to kick this one off. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Here I come again. Shit. 15. Mark 55. Mark 50. General. West. We go.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. After the sack on first down, Mahomes flushed out right. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this third quarter of play. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Chiefs on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And here now the offense heading back out there. And right now they're just looking for a little more cushion, trying to make this a 2-score game. Points here would go a long way, obviously, to propelling them into the next round.
And this is where the head coach, offensive coordinator, they've had to set a tone all year long about what they do on offense. So most teams want to stay in attack mode, but you have to do it with some bit of caution, don't you? because you can't come away with no points. You need these points here in order to feel a lot better about where they are in this game.
But this time of the year, playoffs, game of this magnitude, this is what we hope for.
Yeah, it's exactly what we hope for. You want to run your offense cautiously, but not so cautiously that you just give it up.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
The Texans on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. Now it's Watson. And that will be incomplete. That close on third down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on 3rd and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance. But that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Maybe an important fourth-quarter miss as this stays a 3-point game.
Yeah, now overtime is very much in the equation here. Just what you mentioned, a 3-point game. They get a drive, put it through the posts. We could have some free football, couldn't we?
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. A pass there over the middle to start things out. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. This is caught by Robinson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. On play action, it's Mahomes. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to keep it here. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now a first down carry here for McCoy. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
On 2nd and a couple. Mahomes. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
Good job. Good job, fellas.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come, eluding the pressure right. And he will score. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs are going to jump back in front.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
So this drive spans 7 plays, and it was all capped by Patrick Mahomes using his legs to get in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Watson and the Texans now down 24-20, a minute 56 to go. It's got to be a touchdown here, and that won't be easy. On the road, in the playoffs, as they've got it with a 1st down.
Check.
They'll look to throw. It's complete. Stills. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Trying to get it that time to Stills. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the 1st down. That's what's vital to them.
Watson on target here to Fuller. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. He'll look to throw. Obviously a big 1st down right there.
Yeah, they still got to hustle. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage and get set. But I don't think necessarily you need to spike it. But they've got to continue to move quickly.
They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
He's back to throw.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter.
50%. Check. Watch 54. There it goes.
Off the draw, here's Johnson. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game.
I'm here all day.
Now Watson. And Stills bringing it in. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Back to throw, and he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays, and the result, a Houston touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. A costly sack. They'll have to use a timeout here. And barring a defensive penalty, they'll be looking at one final play. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. One final try for Mahomes. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, one side moves on, and then, of course, there's the other side. And now they face what they don't want to face, and that's the offseason.
Think about the journey just getting to this game. Preseason, right? The OTAs and mini camps before that. Going through the regular season, fighting and scratching and clawing to make it to the playoffs. And then to get to this game, one game short of a conference championship, they'll have the whole offseason to think about it. Let's see if they use it as motivation.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Kansas City, so long, everybody.